Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced. And this is a game that was played in 1957, and this game is definitely played by two magicians. On the right hand side, we have here Rashid Nezhmetdinov, which who has had a very amazing starts against Mikhail Tal, former world champion. So I mean, this battle is going to be legendary. So hey, without further ado, let's start for this game. Here, white starts with e4. We have e6, d4, and just d5, going for the French defense. We have knight to c3, but just bishop to b4. Just early on, you'll see this bishop just trading that, and you'll have a very nice massive center with that advanced variation. But here just e5, just going for the advanced variation right away in c5, and just bishop to d2. We have knight to e7, but just a3, and now we finally go for that trade. Bishop captures and b cap not going for this b captures, but just this bishop captures. And here just b6, just going for fiend getting that bishop on this very nice diagonal, and mostly you'll see white castling on this side as well, and both players will have very nice game. But here just b4. Early on, I mean, you haven't even seen any here knight or bishop jumps and going for that castle, so maybe white is just interested in keeping his king in the center. But here normally instead of this b4 move, you'll see in the modern times, you'll see this h4 idea, and here after bishop to a6, bishop captures, knight captures, and after knight to e2, you'll have a great game because you'll be able to castle your king, and maybe just get that queen, connect the rooks. You'll have a great game. But here after b4, now we see queen to c7, and now here after knight to f3, but just this knight to d7, and we have bishop to e2, but just knight to c6. Rashid Nezhmetdinov was a great attacker, and definitely Tal is going to have to be very much careful because here, as much of a magician as Tal is, Rashid Nezhmetdinov could even be greater than him. Here we have just castles and castles, but now just going for this b captures, but just b captures, and after d captures, we have knight captures on e5, just trading those pawns, and we have this knight captures, and we have after knight captures, queen to d4. Now, if you don't play this, now this is definitely going to be in the air. So here just f6, but just f4, and now just pushing that knight back. So we have this knight to f6, a knight to c6, but attacking that queen, and just going for this queen to e3. We have rook to d8, but now just rook a d1, and here after e5, now we see a trade of pawns, and here just bishop to b5, and now we see this bishop to b7, just finally getting that bishop being kettled. And the best way to continue in this position is going for this queen to g5. I mean, you already have a bishop on that diagonal. I mean, definitely you could push this, but it just does not make sense as of right now, because if this bishop was alive, definitely that would have made sense. And if you had more pieces on the king side attacking the king side, then that would have definitely made some sense. But now it just makes no sense. And maybe after a move like a6 is pushing that bishop back, and you definitely want this bishop to be on this diagonal attacking the king, or maybe on this diagonal just getting that here. So here just bishop to a4, you definitely want to bring that bishop alive and get to target that black's bishop, black's king. And here rook a to c8, but just h3. And here after a move like bishop to a8, bishop to b3, knight to d4, and now we'll see a trade, and you'll get this position where black is going to be very much careful because queen is on a very good square, and somewhere along the line you'll see a rook left, and maybe getting a rook to that seventh rank, and maybe to that sixth rank will be very much great for white, and white will have a great game. White is the one who's better here. White is the one who's pushing, while black is having all of these pieces concentrated. I mean, it's not going to be a great game for black. But here after bishop to b7, Rashid, instead of going for that, he went to queen to g3. But here just rook to d7, just defending against any threats that might be followed here in the future. But here rook to f2, but now just going for this rook to e8. And here after a move like h3, now we have this bishop back to a8, but just bishop to a4, just pushing that bishop back, not allowing that a6 move to come here in the future. And we have after bishop to b7, but just king to h1. You can see that here nothing is being done by Tal. Tal is just moving with his bishop front and back. Here bishop to 8 again, but just rook to f5. But here just e4. But now this bishop comes alive, so you're gonna have to be very much careful. And the engine definitely does not like this move for Tal. But I mean, there is nothing better for Tal in this position. You can see that all of this is just very bad. You cannot move that knight. That bishop is stuck here. I mean, it's not doing anything. By the way, these two bishops are absolute monsters in this position. The queen is on a very good diagonal. The rooks can be connected, and maybe if you can get that rook to rook 7, I mean, the game is pretty much over. So here after queen captures on c7, rook captures, here just f captures on d5. Now finally getting that pawn. Tal is gonna have to get those pieces into the attack, but you're gonna have to give up some material to do that. Here e3 was played, just pushing that, but it just completely blunders the game. So pause the video and try to find the absolute winning move in this position while I give you a couple of seconds. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move. The move is not that very much difficult to spot, and the move is this beautiful rook to d7. I mean, it just completely ends the game on the spot. But here Tal decided to play a few more moves. Here the best is just playing for this rook to e7, and maybe after bishop to b3 check. Now you play this king to f8, and here after a move like rook back to d7, you play this bishop to b7, and after rook to e1. I mean, white is completely winning, but still you'll be able to survive a few more moves, and maybe just maybe that white will blunder, and maybe you'll be able to get back in the game. But here after king to d7, Tal played e2, but it just brings out this mate in 4, which is this beautiful pattern that starts with here bishop to b3 check, king to now you have to even sacrifice the rook, because if you don't sacrifice it, then if you move here, this is just mate in 1. So here there's nothing better. I mean, you cannot do anything if you go there, even if this is just mate. So there is nothing better in the position. So here Tal decided to do that, but here after captures and moving the king, here bishop captures was played, but now there is nothing in this position. I mean, after this is checkmate. So here it was on this move, on move 32, that Mikhail Tal resigned the game, and Rashid Nezhmetdinov got this spectacular victory against Tal. And I mean, beating Tal in just 32 moves, I mean, that's just one of the legendary records that Rashid Nezhmetdinov is going to have in the record book. And definitely that's why we're analyzing this game. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with such amazing games, so stay tuned for that, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you all.